On this matchup, we got Yudi versus Blinchick. Yudi is going to be up in the north side. We got Aeon, and Blinchick is Cybrin over to our left or south, or however you want to look at this. The map is Farce in a Forest, which is a bit of a different style map. It's bigger than you think it is. You do have to have a pile of land units to control this one. Yes, there's some navy, but you don't actually want to build navy. It's just water. You need to leave it alone. And there's several potential run-by locations. So leading directly into the back of your base, you got something over there that can lead over here. You've got an open passageway to 4 mexes down here with an extra hydro on this side. Your hydro is a long ways away, so you got to build assuming that you're not going to get it anytime soon. And then you've also got hydros on the front line. So there's 3 total for each player that you could potentially lock down, giving you a pretty good boost in your power income. And then as far as reclaim goes, there's your layout. You got rocks on the edges all the way around your gray terrain, which is typical of how the maps are laid out. You've got some larger rocks in certain areas, but mostly it's just trees and little pebbles here and there. Looks like Yudi is going for 3rd air factory. We got 2 land factories going down to get some tanks out into the woods. Hopefully they'll be able to prevent any run-bys. Blinchick, of course, being Cybrin, has the potential to run by early with Hunters and later with Mantis. Looks like Blinchick is fully embracing the spam lifestyle, going 3rd air as well. And then he's got a total of 8 land factories planned. Looks like we've got an attack move order to the rear. Of course, that is alt right click from the factory to be able to reclaim from a standstill with all of these engineers. 10 mass, 100 power per tree clump makes a tremendous difference when you're trying to get your early build online. We got manual reclaim on the rock clumps, moving into some mass extractor pickups for Blinchick with the first 2 expansioneers. We do have Mantis moving out. Looks like not so much early aggression that we're going to see Hunters, and the Mantis are rather late, but we are going to see aggression nonetheless. Got some T1 tanks moving out from Yudi as well. Going to try to go pick up the left side expansion, guard his engineers as they're moving out to the mass extractors around his base. And then we've got 2 more land factories planned for a total of 4. So Yudi is probably going to move his ACU out into the center somewhere, I know not where, and then he's going to get some more build power built in other locations on the map, whether that is with engineers later on in his home base, which would not be other places on the map, but it would be in a different way, or he is going to start building, he's going to start building land factories on his outside expansions in order to have build power in multiple places on the map. He does already have 1 planned, but that might not be anything significant, might just be a reclaim factory. So over here on the left, we're gonna see our first engagement. Got a Mantis moving in on 2 Auroras and a Land Scout. Get the Land Scout away! You must keep it alive for your Auroras to be its maximum effectiveness. Mantis dodging those Aurora shots with ease. Look at that micro. Not a single shot was landed that day. The twitch is perfect. Oh my goodness. That Mantis made it out alive versus 2 Auroras. Well done, Blinchick. And you now know what's coming for you on the left-hand side. So we're going to see more Mantis heading that way, I do believe. Got our air factory online. 4th land factory being placed with heavy assistance on that ACU. I kind of want to look over here to see what's going on. Minus 74 power. I was expecting that because building the land factories takes way more power than running them. So when you're spamming them up that quickly, the power requirements are huge. Running 15 mass per tick, pouring all the reclaim that's coming in into the vast land spam that Blinchick has planned. And then over here, we're still picking up some stuff. Got some large rocks to reclaim there, and then an attack move order on the small pebbles. 2,000 in the bag so far. Like I said, 15-ish income. 13 income for Yudi and 1,700 reclaim. So Blinchick is pulling ahead both in total mass and in reclaim, and is getting far more build power online than his opponent. So this is ending all kinds of badly for Yudi. Yudi moving out to the front with the ACU, looks like trying to secure this expansion closer to the base to try and shut down potential income for Blinchik. Blinchik just casually building with the ACU. I'm assuming that the reasoning behind this is, since the map is so large and open, your ACU is not critical on the front line, at least not early. It's worth 2 engineers, so you can build 2 less engineers at the beginning, which lets you build more tanks since your ACU will be building and not fighting. And then later on in the game, you can move your ACU where you need it, but you'll be ahead on factories versus your opponent, which lets you win in the mid game. So I think Blinchik definitely played this out right. He's about 1,000 score ahead, 1 mass extractor ahead on eco, and has all of that reclaim to his name for sending out those extra early engineers. Blinchik is now finished, got a whopping total of 8 land factories online versus 5 and a 6th going down for Yudi. Yudi is going to be in for a bad hurt in just a little bit, because you can already see the amount of Mantis versus the amount of Auroras. What do we got here? We've got 28 Mantis paired with 5 artillery versus 27 Auroras and no artillery. And that is only going to get worse as the game goes on. Well done, Blinchik, on your early game. I know that's only 1 tank difference, but look at the placement of the tanks and the amount of artillery that Blinchik is working in. Something to remember, I did mention it earlier, the more Auroras you're facing, the more Medusas you should be building. Because Medusas are able to reach out and touch those Auroras. Yes, they're inaccurate, but when you're dealing with masses of Auroras, as you will see moving into the late game, they're able to effectively kill off clumps of T1 tanks. Then you got the stun when the T2 phase does come along. They can be a great help to your Mantis as you're trying to deal with the Auroras. Land factories coming online quite quickly. Blinchik did get his eco on par, or Yudi did get his eco on par with Blinchik's, even though he lost that expansion due to the fact that he's built his forward mass extractors on the left, whereas Blinchik is still moving in that direction. This kill, though, was essential. Otherwise, Yudi would have had a little bit of a leg up on mass. As of right now, with that mass extractor loss, Blinchik is going to be 2 behind in income. Blinchik does have his ACU in the fight now, though. He's going to be able to engage with these Aurora if Yudi's not careful. But either way that goes, those Mantis are going to overcome that force. We got 2 more land factories still up on the front line. How is Blinchik even able to run this? He's not, is the answer. Minus 47 mass per tick and surviving entirely on reclaim, of which he has 5,700. 3,700 for Yudi with a much more balanced eco. So in this particular situation, you've got to ask yourself, if he built 2 less factories and 8 more tanks, would he be in a better spot? And I think in this case, you would have to say yes. However, if he's able to get his income online, he's going to have so much more build power than his opponent that it's going to lead to a clean sweep. So it looks like we've got a total of 11 factories for Yudi. Blinchik is on 12. So Yudi has done some excellent catch-up work. He's going to be able to pour units out to all areas on the map. And he is re-securing his mass extractor. So that's going to give Yudi a leg up on eco coming shortly, especially since he's going to be able to secure the center of the map. He was able to get a point defense down on this side, but due to the Medusas, that's not going to do a very good job of protecting his income. And now both players are tied at 41 mass per tick and nearly tied at 640 and 680 power per tick. Looks like this engineer is a brave son of a gun. He's actually moved to the other side to reclaim his opponent's mass. Well, if you can't deny the reclaim, you might as well take it for yourself. That is indirectly denial, I suppose. Mass Extractor's going down there. Mass Extractor's going down over here, leading to, nope, Blinchik is still behind. 47 mass per tick on UD's side. The early aggression was a beautiful thing to see, but in the end, UD was able to hold, and Blinchik and UD are now on even footing, although Blinchik is still slightly ahead in score. They just keep removing each other's expansions. Expansion dying here, expansion going to die there, expansion's dying over here for Blinchik. Blinchik now down 10 mass per tick on income, even though he wiped out some of this other stuff. But thanks to all of this going down, it'll probably become much more even. Looks like that's going to be 43 to 39, maybe 41 to 39. Nope, 39 to 39 as the dust settles. My goodness, this is evenly matched. There's just no way to tell who is going to be able to poke harder. Let's get a count on the tanks. Looks like we've got a total of 77 Auroras versus 51 Mantis. And where we got a T1 artillery to click on, and 15 Medusas. So the total amount of T1 units is roughly the same, but might slightly favor UD. Eco going back in UD's favor, 53 to 41 per tick, 55 on the horizon. We've got T2 mass extractors coming online in the home base for both players. That would be 1.5 for the north side and 3 for the south. So that explains where that income sprang into existence from. Air game might be a little bit of a trouble. UD has got a whopping 14 interceptors versus Blinchik's 2. Nope, never mind. He had some on the front line. Okay, so 15 there as well. Even once again. We got a T2 air factory online though. That is why UD is seeking that air win. He wants to start exercising control. We got T2 air from one side and T2 land from the other. T2 engineers coming out to build some power. That should let Blinchik get a leg up in the power game, and then maybe he can move into T3. The Loyalists are going to be super handy for locking down control of this map. So what we're seeing here is excellent usage of the tools at hand by both players. T2 Air for the Aeon using the strength of that tool, and then T2 Land transferring into T3, I would imagine, from the other side. Yes, there it is. Just enough engineers out to get a TMD down and a power generator down, and immediately moving towards the T3 phase on roughly even eco. So the Mantis spam has been able to hold so far, but you'll notice that there's now a bit more blue compared to the purple. Since this mass is going into the T3 factory, of course the unit count will shrink, minus 106 mass per tick. Getting that factory, he's gonna have to shut down some of this other T1 land to get that more quickly, trying to assist this T2 power generator to get his power stall situation taken care of. But if we get another count on our tanks, we've got 48 and 19, makes about 60-ish T1 units once we count some deaths. And then we've got 120 Auroras, so literally double the amount of T1 from UD. This could spell certain doom for Blinchik if there is a single misstep. There's a T1 point defense on the front line here, which the Auroras could potentially go around, but they are not currently. We've got so many more T1 on every possible portion of the map except for this south side, which does have some T1 point defense guarding it. And the ACU should be able to move to the center and take care of that. Wall section's going down for Blinchik. That's going to slow down the passage of units through the north side of the base, hopefully delaying long enough to get these essential units online. T3 upgrade is 60-ish% complete. Got a second T2 power generator coming online. Blinchik still struggling with a desperate need for mass. If he was able to get some more reclaim, this would be an entirely different matter. Trying to get a Cerberus turret down on the front, you can see the edges of the map collapsing as he knows he doesn't have enough units to deal with what is hitting his edges. But I don't know if the Cerberus turrets are a good idea. They're going to take up mass that could be going to this T3 factory, and he does have all of his units concentrated in this section anyway. That looks like probably... Nope, it's a T2. I was going to say it's a gun, but it is a T2. I think that Yudi is probably going to anticipate the T3. He started a gun upgrade, but he canceled it to go for a land factory to try and secure all of this income in reclaim. I mean, kudos to him for trying it, because that is going to give him a mass advantage, but I think the gun upgrade would have been more useful for dealing with the potential T3 hitting the field. That is now 90% on the upgrade. We are moving to a T3 factory on the north as well. Yudi at 53 per tick versus 67 per tick for Blinchik. So a bit ahead on mass for Blinchik. Let's take a look at the reclaim. Yudi rocking 7,800 and Blinchik at 16 freaking thousand. Holy cow. Talk about floating your entire economy on the back of reclaim. Control K'ing the T1 factories, whittling down to the numbers he needs. We've got a T2 support coming online. Gonna reclaim those to get that back and then dump that into building Loyalist. Loyalist has not as of yet hit the field, but it will be there in just a moment. All right, ACU still unupgraded. That's a bad sign moving into this portion of the game. And he's only got T1 on the field. How is the intel doing? He knows that there's a T3 factory on the other side. Blinchik has finished the T2 upgrade. And I might take back what I said about this mean old Cerberus turret, because that was able to plink away at the health on this group of T1 and deny the push. There is a tactical missile launcher online. Oh no! There's no TMD. If he's able to tac missile that HQ, that is game over. Yudi does not have it scouted. He will see it in just a minute when that missile comes overhead, and now he knows. Oh my goodness. You gotta react. You gotta build. It's gonna take 3 tac missiles to kill. 12,800 HP. The engineers stopped the shot. The missile actually collided with the NGs. Oh man. There's the second. Here comes the TMD. Missile incoming. And it's... Yo, it's good. T3 HQ down. No. Oh, that is devastating. Immediately starting an upgrade on this land factory, and he reclaimed that T3 mechs to get that online. TMD coming up to spoof the other missile, but it's a little too far away in range. Actually, looking at this, Yudi, what is your range on this? This HQ is in range as well. Oh no. This is not good, yo. Yudi's gonna get shredded by this. He can tac missile all the build power. He can tac missile a lot of mass extractors. There, finally absorbing. It's gonna keep the T2 power on alive, but you're gonna need to build another TMD in front of your base to make sure that everything doesn't die. T2 mech's gonna go down just outside of the TMD range. Harbinger moved up to the front, gonna be able to lock in some of this T1, but the Loyalists are going to move to the north and start securing map control. Lost something there to a couple of T1 units that moved around. Yudi chanting, "Long live the Aeon TMD!" You know, I don't think that's actually the case. I think he might be being sarcastic. Just maybe. Just maybe. More TMLs coming in, but thankfully those TMD are going to be online. That will be denied. No more will that work. We got 2 Loyalists on the right. Those probably, I'm not actually sure which wins toe-to-toe, Loyalist or Harbinger. I would tend to think the Harbinger. But we do have 3 Loyalists on this side. No micro needed. They're gonna trash all that T1. Harbinger's moving through the back of the base. in order to try and eliminate as much eco as possible. Blinchick still up on 83 mass per tick versus 77, plus all that reclaim that we mentioned earlier. But if those Harbingers get into the back, it could be very bad indeed, because we do have 4 T2 mass extractors that can be killed, along with another one that is in the rear. Both players have claimed their plateau mexes. That's good. So both guys did get... Nope, that was an edge build. One guy got a transport. We got Loyalists moving into the outside expansions on Yudi's side of the map. Yudi moving over to try and get an overcharge in, but that is a dangerous proposition when you've got 3 to 4 Loyalists on the spot. You might lose your ACU with that kind of placement. Harbingers moving through the mass extractors. Loyalists will need to catch up, but I think they can. Mantis also need to move in, because if those Loyalists don't have the help from the T1, they may not succeed. 2, 3 mass extractors down, 4 mass extractors down. That is well worth the expenditure of the Harbs, and the Harbs might still move a little further. A little bit of a pathfinding problem there, snagging their steps. Harbinger's going to clean up the front line of T1s and get away cleanly. If those Loyalists do get in range of the Harbingers, they will die. That is a certainty, and it appears that Loyalists do indeed die on a one-to-one basis to Harbingers. They are quite a bit weaker. I love that move, moving one Harbinger back to try to deal out some damage and distract the units from where things are actually happening, and the other Harbinger is moving up to go ahead and try and kill another expansion. Harbinger's cleaning up the T1 that snuck through. Nice placement with the transport, getting Harbies where they need to be. Gonna lose 3 out of the 4 mass extractors, but that's not as bad as what Blinchick lost. Blinchick at 68 mass per tick to UD's 63. That's gonna look like 28,000 reclaim versus 15, almost 16. Still running nearly double the amount of reclaim as his opponent. Harbinger's moving into the rear. There is a brick now. The brick will be able to deal with Harbies quite effectively, but it is slower, so you got to be more careful with your placement versus the Harbs. And Harby's going to run away and sweep back through the other side to try and kill that expansion again. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Medusas are going to be able to take out a couple of mass extractors here as well. Devastating losses to Yudi as he drops below the 50 mass per tick mark. Center's gone, right's gone, left's gone. This looks like a 1 game for Blinchick. All in all, disintegration has taken effect. Well done on the T3 rush for Blinchick. That early game spam though, over 120 Auroras on the map at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw 118, and I know there were more built after that. So massive T1 spam. Unfortunately, the T3 rush was not strong enough with Yudi to deny what was going on. But you know, it might not all be over quite yet, because we still have Harbingers that can be dropped around. We've still got stuff happening in the base. Control K the factories, reclaim them, convert that mass to something else. We got a T3 mass extractor coming online for Yudi. He knows he can't hold his expansions now, so he's trying to centralize his income. That ACU looks very lonely indeed over that away. Harby dropping on this side. Nope, those are engineers. Gonna pick up those mass extractors once again, speeding up his expansion into the map with that transport. I love it. I love it. Got 3 bricks moving up to the north though, so I don't think that anything Yudi can do will stop that. T3 mass extractor complete. Might move on to another to upgrade that. Looks like reclaiming the P-gens, placing mass storage, and that's gonna bump Yudi up to 79 mass per tick versus 67 for Blinchick with the claiming of those expansions. Back and forth she goes, man. It swings both ways. 1600 power income, 81 mass for Yudi with 18,000 reclaim. Blinchick, on the other hand, 32, almost 33,000 income, officially double the income of his opponent, and 2,700 power, thanks to a vast array of T2 P-gens. So things are looking pretty good for Blinchick, We've got slightly more than 50-50 map control in Purple's favor. On the north side, though, this is looking a little sketchy due to the fact that Harbingers have to be relied on. I love this. T2 transport. Yo, I'm just going to drop a couple bricks up here and see what happens. They might kill some stuff. They might not, but it seems like a good idea at the time. So I'm going to drop. Those bricks will be able to deny this re-expansion of the expansion. And on the south side, we're actually seeing a couple of trebuchets. Don't know why he's building trebuchets, but more power to you if you like to see pretty lights. It's almost like fireworks on the ground. Harbingers will be able to move in and knock those out, though, no problemo. Low HP units versus high damage assault bots. Yeah, we all know how that goes. But there must be a demolisher somewhere else. Yes, right there. That's landing hits. 2 bricks engaging along with a couple of Cerberus turrets. Harveys go down. Gonna lose one of the bricks, but it's okay. 500 HP. Pursuing artillery shell incoming, and nope. There was a disruptance in the speed that allowed that to live. Looks like we've got a move to T3 support factories. More... Oh, those are SAMs. I was about to say more TMD. More TMD would actually be an excellent idea. Although, it would appear that the TAC launcher has been reclaimed to put that mass into something else. Well done, Blinchik. Nice eco. Blinchik down to 42 mass per tick, which seems a little odd. I would think, yep, there it is, power stall. Power stall is the reason why. Oh my goodness. You're building a freaking strap bomber. Holy smokes. Worth the stall, yo. Worth the stall. This is going to be brutal. Yudi knows that there's a T3 air factory. He has a tiny, tiny handful of interceptors. That's awesome. Yudi just dropped his ACU on the 2 bricks to overcharge them and reclaim them. Excellent. Okay, so T2 Gen's continuing to go down as Blinchik just straight up stalls through this air build. I know that he's hoping he can clinch the win with this build and the power stall will not matter. Strat Bomber moving around the right. If he's able to get a hit in, he might get all of this at once. No, shield generator coming up, so it might not happen. If he can get T2 power, a significant amount of build power, whatever the case may be, he just needs to use that strat to maximum effect. Moving back over to the left now that he sees the shield going up. If you drop a strat right here, you would be able to kill off a whole lot of build power, some T1 power, and a T2 mechs at the same time. But he's going to use that strat bomber to go after the Harbingers, oddly enough. I guess you would only get 1 pass because the SAM would kill it as it came through. That's why he returned. I should have known. I wasn't thinking when I saw that thing happen. Swift Winds in pursuit. Yudi does have a good amount of them to exert air control. And kudos to him for building that SAM early, because that completely negated any effect that Strat Bomber could have had on the main base. Interceptors for the win. Couple of ASF swinging through as well, eliminating most of those Swift Winds. ASF going to clean up the remainder. And that is all she wrote. Air superiority firmly in the hands of Blinchik. That's not going to stop the T2 transports, though. Still dropping their Harbinger payloads over on the left side of the map. You got to get them over there quickly in order to save these expansions. Sometimes it's not the fact that you're building units. Sometimes it's the fact that your units reach the appropriate area more quickly. Strat bomb out on the T2 mechs. There's a solid kill. If both players have moved to T3 land, but one of them is transporting their units, you're looking at someone building here, then having to walk all the way over here to defend against a unit that was transported there and has already killed all 3 mechs and is moving on to the next area. So placement is absolutely as important as the speed at which you build things. That's also why it's a good idea to get forward production online in most games. because sometimes it's a lot faster to fly engineers over there and build a couple land factories than it is to walk an engineer and tanks over there and build factories after. Hydro might survive over there. Yes, it is definitely going to, because there's only moles pushing in. Got a couple of T1 forces trying to get into the other side, but of course Harbingers are going to put a very swift end to that move. Yudi at 98 mass per tick thanks to 2 T3 mass extractors and T2 capped in several of his outlying areas. T2 capped up on the mesa as well. And he's also got T3 power online, allowing him to shift to a T3 HQ in air. 3 bricks versus 4 Harbingers. I would bet on the bricks, except for the fact that there's 7 Harbingers and a sniper bot from this force moving up from the south. So that's going to be more reclaim in Yudi's hands. Blinchik is going to need to do something about this, because if he keeps just doing things the way that he's doing, Yudi might actually overtake him. Blinchik once again in a power stall. Now it's all okay. 103 mass per tick versus 98. That T3 P-Gen finished just in time, and now he's got the reclaim from the T2 P-Gens to float him for mass or whatever he would like to build. Looks like Yudi is assisting the T3 factory. Not many T3 units being built nowadays from Yudi. I suppose that he is putting all of that mass into the T3 Air HQ in order to prevent bad things from happening later on. Got that group of Harbingers moving in. Blinchik's going to lose some eco. That's officially going to put him below. Excuse me. Officially going to put him below Yudi's income. I do not know why I'm yawning so much. Must be a severe lack of oxygen in the room or something. And got sniper bots still rolling out. I wonder why he's building so many sniper bots. Maybe because Blinchik has gone for mostly bricks due to the Harbinger spam? That could definitely be the case. Alright, Yudi, I would be protecting my commander if I were you, or at least at a minimum getting the range gun upgrade along with Omni, because you know for a fact Cybran has stealth. And if you get stealthed, you're gonna have a bad time. Looks like T3 mass extractor upgrades going down 2 at a time for Blinchik as he recycles these T2 P-Gens into better things for better times. 3.8k on the power ticker for Blinchik, which is far behind Yudi's, and actually I think puts him in danger of stalling if he's building things too quickly on his air factories. That's not good. T3 artillery for the win, knocking out most of those sniper bots in a single hit. Blinchik lost 4k HP to those snipers before he realized what was going on. There's a whole new group of snipers moving in from the north, which could potentially cause some problems as well, but I think Blinchik is going to be fine. Looking at the south side, got another T3 power generator coming up. The power stall, or not the power stall, the mass stall is real, so the power stall is not that big a deal. And it looks like Yudi is still, in fact, ahead on mass. Third T3, nope, not quite yet, but he is reclaiming his T1 P-Gens. Got his second T3 P-Gen online, and oh no, he is. He's going for another T3 mechs in the back corner. Well done. Well done indeed. I'm going to take a look at the reclaim. We've got 51,000 if you round up for Blinchik, and 34,000 for Yudi, which is not actually as big of a gap as it was before. It's actually, let me rephrase that. It's more of a gap by an actual value. It's no longer twice as much. So the amount of mass that he's reclaimed is still farther ahead than it was at the earlier portions of the game. Whaler is going to wail on that T3 sniper. Looks like air is going to move in on it. Probably will not be able to protect it due to ASF and Inties being farther up on the north. But the gunships are not only one, they are two. And this one is going to take out the Hydro. I'm not sure why the Hydro is a strategic target, but it is apparently. So we're going to leave him alone as he does that. Air moving to the south. hoping to secure, but it is far too late. And now that's going to leave the north side open if Yudi wants to kill that gunship. All right. When are we going to see a Monkey Lord? I'm just waiting for the moment, because we're up to the point now where we're at 142 and 175 mass income per tick. And at any moment, there could be an experimental dropped. T3 mechs there. T3 mechs upgrading there. Oh, there was a T3 mechs. Okay. So T3 mechs all the way around in the core base. And Yudi's now upgrading his outer ones. That one, yep, that is going T2. Okay. And then he's capping off all the rest. But this has turned into an eco war because everything's stalemated. Woo! Third T3 power generator coming online, along with the third T3 mass extractor for Blinchik, who actually doesn't have all T2 mexes in the back. That is very weird indeed. Getting another T3 mass extractor over there, where theoretically things aren't as protected, but since we do have the forward base out here, I guess they kind of are. I don't know why on Earth anybody would be upgrading to T3 when they've still got so many T1. It's not insignificant, and also haven't capped all the T2. It seems like an odd way to eco, but I suppose it might work since things are going pretty well, and 172 mass is up on the board versus 165, so I guess I won't complain that much. All right, Blinchik, 55,000 reclaim. Yudi, 37, so still growing by leaps and bounds for mostly Blinchik, but also Yudi. I'm trying to figure out, I guess it's mainly because of these reclaim fields, because Yudi was pushing early in the game, and then once that was regained by Blinchik, all of that reclaim went to purple. So that's how you lose games, folks. Donate the mass. Donate the mass. Sniper bots moving to the south might be able to inflict some pain on the base, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because the bricks are moving back up. They will be able to kill a couple. Good. I have a distinct dislike for sniper bots. Do not appreciate them, especially when they are near my commander. Is that... Yeah, that's a T3 land factory. I was about to say, are you actually going for even more T3 mass extractors up there? But I suppose you will soon, but not exactly this second. Alright, let's count the T3 mechs. I am curious. Come on. So that's going to give us a total of 5 versus a total of 4. Surprise, surprise. Blinchik is actually ahead on that, although Yudi is going to flip over in just a second. So versus Cybran, Aeon is not quite as bad off. They've got the brick, which is not quite as good as the Percival, so the Harbingers aren't wrecked so hard, but they're still wrecked by bricks. The Loyalists can throw some wrenches in the works, but Harbingers are almost as fast as Loyalists, so Cybran is kind of losing a chunk of their endgame to Aeon, but still Aeon bots just straight up are not as strong as the Cybran counterparts. On the other hand, the Monkey Lord is far weaker than the Galactic Colossus, and while the Megalith is far stronger, it costs so much mass to build. So what you end up happening is the I've seen it specifically on this map. Somebody tried to build a Megalith and died because they couldn't get it up yet. And I've also seen a Monkey Lord on this map come up, but then get trashed and not be able to kill anything because it's so weak. That was not an Aeon matchup for the record. So it's kind of hard to tell what to do, because if you build a Monkey Lord and you keep it with your units, then it can be an awesome tool to wreck bases with, and it's got the stealth and it's got all these things going for it. But on the other hand, Megalith. But on the other hand, positive Megalith. I don't know. I don't have the perfect answer for you, but we'll wait and see what goes down. Looks like Monkey Lord is going down. 37 minutes into this game, on a 10 by 10 map. I don't even understand what is happening here. Yudi is producing air quite quickly, but maybe not quickly enough. We may see an air win here for Blinchick. It depends on the micro and how things come together. There is a T3 gunship out, which is going to meet shield to a certain degree, but it's only got 4k HP, so not a huge one. Demolishers, though, or trebuchets, look at those sons of guns. Knocking out defenses, eating their way into the base. This could be terrible for Yudi. Yudi pulling slightly ahead on Eco, but I don't think it's going to matter much because I think we just watched the final collapse of the blue player. The Harbingers died, few and far between, but overall, there's not anything to recover with. Yudi even on Eco, maybe ahead on air, but definitely even on air, and still just not able to do it because of the weakness of the Harbingers. Should have rushed a GC, man. Should have rushed a GC. Or some kind of snipe, maybe? Maybe you can get somebody. I mean, you're Aeon. You've got Mercies. That could be like ultimate cheese. But you've got to have pretty strong air control to get that done. Unless your enemy player is totally unobservant, which I don't think Blinchick is. Oh no! ASF are landing! It's AA bricks on the attack! Stop! Don't do that! And now they're in a bad turn. Blinchick moving in, dealing some free damage, backing up to the coverage of his vast interceptor swarm. Not good at all. Sniper bots coming out, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Those trebuchets are straight nasty. So much damage on those things. Yeah, it's spread out over a lot of time, but it can still get the job done. We got bricks moving in on the north, 2 and a scout. Should be able to knock that out, no problemo. No! Trying to build SAMs to maintain your air control, but it doesn't do any good when there's T3 mobile artillery on the case. You're just gonna lose them the slow way instead of the fast way. Fast way being by a brick, I suppose. Hydro down, PD going down. Radar will definitely be down as that brick moves in on the T3 mechs. Oh man. There's certain things here that make me think, you know, blue isn't that bad off. He's doing pretty well eco-wise, he's got all these things going for him, he's holding the map. But then I look at the Cybran, and I realize that as much as I want to pretend that the Aeon has a chance, unless there's some kind of stupid cheese victory, the Cybran will simply be able to outmatch the Harbinger on a mass-to-mass basis. So, it's Monkey Lord time! That looks like a very incomplete Monkey Lord, 33%, but it is going to get finished and will be used in this game, barring a Control K. Click on the left, Sniper Bot still tearing through. Maybe that's something I need to adjust about my T3 builds. I hardly ever build Sniper Bots, but then again, most of the time when I'm going into the T3 land spam phase, I am Seraphim, and Seraphim T3 tanks are less bad than Harbingers. So, well, I don't know, that might be a strong statement. They're probably about even, but they do have a little bit longer range. Meh. Anyway, I am usually Seraphim when I'm going to T3 land, and a lot of times I don't build any sniper bots at all. I build some mobile AA because the lightning tanks are friggin' gorgeous. I build a couple of shields because you just can't pass up that much HP. And then I build all the Authams, which just swarm over everything and desecrate the homeland of my enemies. But with Harbingers, you're not really able to bring that brute force to the table that Authams can, where they have the highest DPS per mass of literally any T3 land unit. And it doesn't work out as well with Aeon, so you gotta throw the snipers in there. Monkey Lord is out and about. Second Monkey Lord is being built, and that is going to move directly into the base. Looks like an air win for Yudi, so he might be able to pull something out thanks to Flak and ASF with a good little bit of micro, but I don't know if that will be the case. Looks like Blinchik is backing up slightly. Blinchik on 315 income to 177 in Yudi's case. All of these expansions going down, a lot of them going to be harassed further as these units move out. And then we've got the Monkey Lord closing in on the front. I think it's just a matter of time with Yudi not dying. Come on, snipers, back up. Back up. That Megalith, not Megalith, that Monkey Lord has barely even gotten hit. Not a single damage to its name. Why are you protecting it? You could get it a little damaged, but it would win. Why on earth would you keep it at the rear? I don't know. We may never know. But it is what he's doing. You got bricks on the left. You got a monkey on the right. Actually, you got bricks on the right too. And a Monkey Lord on the left too. So yeah, we'll see some pretty laser beams. And then there will be nothing. Yudi's still that unupgraded comm though. Yudi calling out the GG, and that is gonna be a freeze. So probably more than likely that was a Control K and the replay broke. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and we are going to take a look at another match. That is going to wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.